Good evening. My presentation will be a little different, I think. First is I'd like to ask you something. We are in Germany, and I really liked your presentation. It is just enormous. I myself went in 2007 to America. I was laughing about the BIM in the beginning. I said, yeah, Americans, we had that here. We tried already 3 times in integral approaches, SpeedyCon and Nemetschek, and I was laughing. Then the crisis hit in America in 2008, 9, 7 as well. There was the Lehman crisis. Within 3 months, we went to San Francisco, best area, one of the best areas, next to Miami, of course. We had 50% of architects workless, from 80% working to 50% workless. It was just enormous. Within 3 months, most of the projects were stopped or cancelled. Clients got really nervous and they asked, what can we do? And then there was this BIM thing. BIM is not invented. BIM is not new. The only thing was clients looked for how can we do better, how can we survive. So it's not a question of us. It's not the question of architects. It's not the question if we like it or not. For me, it's not the question to BIM or not to BIM. It's just we will BIM. I'm an architect. I'm a German architect. Went to America. I laughed about it. I saw it during the crisis. I had to change my whole thinking about that. We moved back to Europe in 2010. I moved by private circumstances to the Netherlands. Came to the office, second day, the crisis hit in the Netherlands. Within 3 months, 50% of architects workless. I had that first in Germany in the year 2000 when I finished architecture. I had that in America, and then it came again to the Netherlands. I thought this is not possible. What happened again? Clients came and say, hey, we heard about BIM. This seems to be more effective. It could save our ass. I'm sorry for the hard expression. So we in the office, we were like 40 people. They didn't even ask us. They said, so, this is the new project, it's for the government. Sorry guys, you just keep your jobs and the project if you move your... This is why I'm here today. As I'm a normal architect, so now I have to start that. And this presentation will be different. I try to catch the architects here and the designers. Where is the kind of, here somewhere, full there. For me, it is not the question about technology. It's not the question about big or small projects. This image we will see later. Bim bam boom. Sounds funny, sounds childish in a way. We will see why the word is getting bigger and what does it mean. We will see as well what the spacesuit will mean. Is that somehow working? Yeah. I told you about that. BIM is not new, it's not an invention. It is already there since the 60s, when they started to think about what can we do digitally in architecture. This is one of the things we have in Germany right now. We are far behind here. Let me tell you, we are so far behind, you will see that later, that you will not believe it. There is a fashion word in the moment called BIM, and it's just full with words. Don't believe it. Go read, educate yourself. No school in Germany, is teaching you the right way of BIM. I can tell you that, as I'm now teaching in Aachen. Aachen is Aachen, yeah. It is so important to filter the trash from the content. There's one thing in red, which is for me the most important thing in BIM. It's us, it's the people. It's not technology, it's people, and I will tell you why. Everyone is telling you BIM is life cycle, data management, blah, it's nice. But for us architects, it's worthless. For me, make your own definition. Look into that, find out what it is for you. You can go to Google. It is unbelievable. Google gets in 0.54 seconds, you get like 50 million hits. But it is full of definitions. There is not one thing. So better skip it, dig into it, don't believe just what the media is saying, try it. In Germany, we are not trying. We are hiding somewhere in the bushes, especially architects. I call you, so who is an architect of you? I'd like to know that, hands. Oh, that's a lot. How much engineers do we have here? Engineers? One. Okay, maybe that's the platform. As normally, it's the other way around. When I go to talk, we have 80% engineers, 2 architects, and the rest is, I don't know what. We normally have no interest in architects in the moment, which is a shame. And then I get all these like chefs of offices, like 50 plus, 60 plus. Normally I don't see youth, and I do that now every week. I do one talk somewhere. It is a shame. This is why I'm here. Hello? BIM is not that. BIM is not that. BIM is not that. It's not blink blink. It's not for renderings. We will hear that a rendering is a really, really nice thing, and it's important, but it's a part of BIM. BIM is not that. Everyone who is telling you like, oh, it's so difficult, and bullshit. I can teach you BIM in 2 days, or maybe in 1 week. And then you know the rest is doing. Go out there, go and do. This is not true. I will show you as well why later on. That is the 4 legs system, which is really simplified. I really agree there's more with it. It's just for architects, we are stupid. I'm an architect. So I made this up. When we talk about BIM, kind of nowadays, we get this impression, oh, it's shit, I have to buy computers. Forget it. There's 2 things. First is adaptation. Adaptation means, do I want to do it or not? The second thing is implementation. How do I get this technology or this process into my office? When I do that, I will show you, I do these things for small firm offices. So I'm focusing now on the Mittelstand, on smaller offices, as this is the German system. I'm not anymore in America. So I have to bring it down, and I really like to thank the AIA for connecting that. So it would be marvelous to connect the American experience with the German Mittelstand. For them, this kind of more simple thing is 25% is technology. The rest is equally important. And it's all glued together, and that is the most important thing. Is there a kind of red dot on it? Yes. Communication. If we are not starting to learn how to communicate, that is the biggest problem in architecture right now. Between planning and construction, we have a huge problem, and we all know that, but no one is naming that. Look at Berlin Airport. Look at Hamburg Elbphilharmonie. It is not about technology. It's about communications. And we all know that, but we try to hide, oh shit, I will not open my mouth. And BIM is about opening your mouth. Nice picture. So if one of these topics is missing, the whole thing will do that. I implemented BIM in offices, and they failed. It is possible if you start with BIM, and if you don't look at all the 4 points, you will not BIM. That's exactly what you said in the beginning. You have to take into account that it's more than just push a button. You have to take the 4 legs. And to keep it really simple, it is nothing more. It's really simple. We design and build the building 2 times. That is BIM. It's nothing more. Including all the steps, all materials, and all participants. That means from day 1 on, and you think this guy is crazy, blah, I did it in the Netherlands. So I know that it's possible, and it's really nice. You have to have the constructor on board. You have to have the engineers on board. And if possible, you have to have a contractor on board. Then all the Germans, oh my God, no, we are going for the bidding process and he doesn't have to know. Bullshit. It is possible, I will show you there are different contract forms which are not developed, and everyone is blocking that out in Germany in the moment. So everyone thinks about this kind of DBB, design, bid, build. There are other forms, and America and other countries who invent or who introduce BIM already, they have the different forms. And if you go to the kind of investment guys, they as well, they try to, no, I will not do that, this is dangerous. It's not. We have the picture, I will not go. Interesting enough is, you could always say, the first two, you could say, this is prefab. This is not comparable with buildings, but this here is. Cruise ships, and this is one of the best professions you can have as an architect. Go to these firms, to the Meyer Werft, they search for architects. They do that. And then you learn that these sections are highly customized, but they have a fully different approach of communicating. These projects are not supported by design firms. This is both industries. So far, we lost the connection as designers to these projects. These projects are made and designed and organized by ship industries. As architects are not able to communicate this way. I live in Groningen, where they have a kind of, it's Central Star. They do these projects for Zaha Hadid, exhibitions in Abu Dhabi, I don't know what. There's no architect anymore involved, as architects didn't learn how to organize that. First BIM project worldwide. 1960s, spacesuit Apollo. The reason I show you that is one important thing. The NASA was not able to build a spacesuit in time. So they said, okay, guys, we have the best specialists here. We want to have a spacesuit. They tried really hard. They were too clunky, too heavy, too expensive. And then there was one fabric manufacturer, Playtex. They do normally bras, underwear for women. They applied for the job as well. They didn't get it. They asked for 2 years. They didn't get it. A half year before the space mission started, the NASA was speechless. So they introduced the guys. And they were able, within 3 months, out of so far unknown textile materials, to set up a spacesuit out of 21 kind of layers of textile. BIM means just don't look in your own environment, open that up, integrate. Try to bring ideas and firms in. And don't be so stupid as we right now. We learned in architecture, hey, I'm the designer, I'm the cool guy. Bullshit. You have to open that. Open your mind, ask other people. This is BIM. That is as well BIM. We think that we cannot have customized or unique objects like architecture. Clothing industries changed it a few years ago, and it's highly customized, but it's BIM. It's not called BIM, as you said. But that is a parametric model of an object which I learned. And it's highly unique, customized. It's not looking the same. They have the highest changing rate in products you can imagine. So don't tell me it's not possible in architecture. The facts. 2007, I went to America, where it was kind of new. They have a kind of standards. To build with that, you need a standard, how to start with BIM. You cannot sit in your own office, think alone, oh, I organize the kind of model, though in this way, it's not working. You have to have a paper, a base. America was really clever. England was really clever, Great Britain. Scandinavian countries, the Netherlands, Singapore. Top down from politics. They introduced a standard which is existing. You can build on that. You can take it into your office, you can change it, but there is a base. So if you acquire partners, you know what to say. Look at us. This is Germany here. It's a Leitfaden. Leitfaden means it has absolute no right to exist in front of a law. So if you want to start as an office in Germany right now, it is simply not possible. We have in the moment like 200-300 standards out of big firms who are internationally connected. They take then the English standard or the American, but it's a chaos, horrible situation. Just imagine, we in Germany will not get any international project in a few years when we don't change that. I will not go on with this. There are reasons why. The simplest one, why to BIM, is this. This is difficult to read. We had to learn to read that as architects. But here, we cannot see anything. In our office where I worked, we went every Friday. We went through the digital model. So we checked the model as it is built. And it was finished to the license phase 3. It was completed with walking around and looking at the data and finding the things before it started to be built. It is possible. And if someone tells me it's not, I will show you. This is the BIM Bam Boom. The interesting part, and that is for the clients. This is why we will BIM, if we want or not. If we invest €1 in planning or designing, it will cost, in the end, in operation and in facility management, over the life cycle building, €32 of costs. That means when we save something here, we save enormous here. That our planning needs to be far better than now. We are solving our problems in the moment here. Everything we don't think today goes on the construction side. And it's like factor is 17, we have to pay that. And we know that. The extra costs in building, they are here, and we don't want to talk about that. This is well existing, as there was too little time to think about. I will jump over that. Another thing, a big advantage of BIM. Nowadays, I see more and more often that people, if they start in 3D, they do this from day one on. Not good. BIM tells you about the steps. You have, in certain phases, they're called, in English or in American, they call it differently. It's the level of detail. So the phases we have in Germany, you can somehow break down to that. It's not part of this presentation, but you have to stop putting details in you don't need. Just draw and model, in this case. Just model what you need. And God, stop doing Türklinken in phase 1. Türklinken are door handles in phase 1. You see all these fantastic BIM models on the market in phase 1 with chair like this. It will kill the office. With this kind of thing, you will kill the whole BIM process, you will kill the office economically. And I had that. People fighting. I had fist fights in offices. I'm really serious about that. With this kind of eye. Fist fights. People. You always expect this. It's wrong. You think we buy, like for 10,000 or for 9,000 euros, we buy tech. We teach a bit, and then it's fine. It's not working. The truth of this, you invest 1,000 euros in tech, this is education, teaching, workshops. Then you will run with BIM. To tell that to offices, especially smaller ones, is really hard, as they have to learn that they have to invest in their staff, in knowledge, not in tech. So, this is the Baumeister idea. This is probably dead. As the Baumeister was able to have in his brain everything. It's gotten so complex in building industries that we need an orchestra. So this guy is really clever. He is using the intelligence and the specialities of the people just to organize, to keep it running. And we didn't learn that in architecture school. Get your start to organize. This is an interesting picture coming from America. What is missing here? Do you see the architect? This is the case, and we will get that. It's called designer. It's called contractor. So this is the orchestra. And we all try to clamp on this old kind of idea about architecture. But it will be different. Like, think about architects will sit here, architects will sit there and there. Inside these orchestra are specialists. This is okay. Don't be so afraid and, oh God, the architects are gone. They will be needed if we know how to communicate. We will sit inside this orchestra, but not as the kind of overflowing guy in a cabriolet with the kind of drawing in the back. This is gone. Existing. If you look at job descriptions, and I'm on the market right now, so I know that, we have new roles. They are fully different. They are not new, so the tasks are somehow, but this guy is maybe the Bauzeichner. He is not drawing anymore. He is modeling. And he knows all the four legs. So these four legs idea comes. He knows what this guy is doing. So there is a connection. You have to know what the others are doing and what your task is. And if we don't teach that in schools, if we don't learn that, we will get killed, I promise you. That's me, 40. I'm in danger. These guys are happy. As they are in school, I teach them, they can learn that. These guys are fantastic. They have the knowledge. We need them in BIM. They know how to build. BIM is about building. How to build. It's not about designing. Designing comes when you know to build. I think this guy, my old friend, knows that. Architecture is good when you know how it's built. So it's not the blob, it's how to do it. So these guys, they don't have to know all the technology. They have to communicate with them. We are the poor guys, me. We are educated in the classical way, and we thought now it's time to earn money. And now this guy from the Netherlands comes, Boris, and he tells me, I have to go to school again. I came back in 2010. 3 years I went to school. 3 full years to get the knowledge about BIM, to work with BIM. And I can tell you it was really a hassle. But if you don't do that, I promise you all who are now 40, you will have no job in 10 years anymore. I promise you that. We can sit here in 10 years and we will see. So I like to organize offices. And that's project to project different. There is no fixed office space anymore, as sometimes they talk, sometimes they talk, sometimes they talk. That's BIM. You talk where you need to talk, and you have to learn how to organize that. It's not about doors anymore. Maybe, I think Americans don't know this guy. This is the guy that, don't do mistakes, don't do mistakes. Fucking wrong. Here, you have to learn. We have to learn a culture of doing mistakes. We de-learned that. We got taught, you don't do mistakes, or if you do mistakes, you hide the mistakes. You don't hide the mistakes. If you hide mistakes, it will cost the firm far more money than solving it right now. The good thing about BIM, just you work on a model. The model is not in your office. It's somewhere on a server. It's working. I did it. It's on a server, and once you draw an object like a wall, the constructor sees that 1 day later or even in the same hour, and he's calling you, Boris, this wall is not working. Then you solve it. You said, oh yes, sorry. Yes, I did a mistake. You solve this and it's done for the project. It's not coming up in the construction phase. Once you do that in time, once you say, hey, I did the mistake yesterday, it is solvable with little amount of money. Somehow we all know that, but we don't do it. We try to hide our things. My God, it is possible that I draw a kind of grid line in the wrong place. It is possible, yeah, and so that is a value. To be honest with the mistakes is a value. It's not a loss. The loss starts when you try to hide it afterwards. 17 euros, 32 euros. It's getting 17th and 32th in the end. So do it in the €1 phase, in the planning. Why the hell are we not learning that? The German market is blocking that out. Okay. When you learn BIM, you will end up here. I had this as well. So you think, whoa, fantastic, it works, and then like, this is after 3 months in the office. They try to throw the computers out. They opened, and I had that as well. I had an office where the guy took his computer, his laptop, opened it, said, okay, I'm off. The problem is this, you have to go through that. It is the kind of Facebook curve as well. Like first 100,000 members and then it goes back. And then, this is interesting, you have to get to here. And this needs time. To implement BIM from adoption over needs for a normal office 1 year. So don't think it is possible to do that in 3 months. It is not possible, as you have to learn communications. And that has to do with people, not with tech, and not with tech. Tech is, I don't know what. This has to do with learning. Learning needs time. Okay, I have to speed up. We are doing this in the moment. This is filters. From each step, each fixed step, we lose information. We all know that as architects. I cannot read all the information fault-free, so I will lose something. When you work on that, you walk through that with all participants. And I did it. Friday evening, you went through the building. So, and this is yeah. In a few years, we will not have drawings anymore. In the moments like the clients need that, this is a kind of phase. In 10 to 20 years, we will laugh about that. As this is just snapshots of a kind of frozen thing. We are there not yet. We have to develop it, how it works. But this is old-fashioned, as we lose too much information by freezing the process. It's processing. This is processing. This is just, I don't know what, freezing. We will lose too much. Yeah, okay, I will skip that. This is all these kind of really kind of nice models. I don't want to. This is the goal. I don't know if I don't know if we will reach that. Hello, I'm not doing here some. Back. So, just to make it sure, in Germany we are here. It is like between 3D and there we are. America is somewhere here. England as well. This is 7 years of advantage. 7 years. So, Mr. Dobrindt, come on. Top down. We need an example of good organization. Someone needs to prepare that. You will see this curve. This is the traditional way of designing. All the efforts here in Leistungsphase, this is in America a little bit different. Leistungsphase 4, LP4 this is starting of construction. We have our peak of energy in the moment. Horribly late, it's on the construction side. So we are still designing, drawing, doing all these errors while we are designing. BIM is asking to do that before even the concrete flows. It is possible. It just means that the clients, they have to go with. They have to give us the kind of involved money out of this phase. They have to give it here. So that means it's not about architects. It's about the whole participant ring. Client, contractor, architect, engineers, blah, blah, blah. They have to sit on the table and they have to agree all together. If they don't agree here, stop doing BIM. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you cannot start it properly, don't do it. You will fail. Yeah, this is the kind of, it's called front loading, so you have to do far more work here. So all the efforts, you have to invest here. So the building is ready to build, so you don't have to plan anymore somewhere here. It is so, as everything you need to build is in the model. Even if it's just a placeholder, it is there, with cost and time and blah. Blah, blah, blah. So, most important thing, standards. We don't have any standards in Germany. We have a Leitfaden. I told you that already. These are the countries worldwide where they have own standards, based on basically the American or the English, as they were really clever. So everything in this country is based on 2 original papers. They are adjustable, but we have to have a base, and we don't have a base. I don't know sometimes what to tell officers when they ask me. This is the German Leitfaden. It is so small, and you see it somewhere here. It's a Leitfaden. You can it's a really nice one, but it's not law. These are the people in Germany who are so brave to say, hey, we will develop that. You cannot, so I'm part of this group sometimes. And it's like a kindergarten. They sometimes fight against each other about a definition, but we don't have a standard. So I think there is it is horrible. I can tell you more if you like to. This is our new model. You can see we can be really proud in Germany. So look at this. The second Stufe is the second level of BIM is 2020. In England and States, we are here right now. Not for all. It is possible both. So you can design classical or BIM. It's no problem to do the classical way. Fine, you can do it. But if you want to do BIM, you have to have a goal and a standard. And we are in the moment. We are here. Vorbereitungsphase means preparation phase. We are here somewhere, and even not all officers know what that is. It is just a horrible situation. This is England. They introduced by law, by a minister of, they introduced in 2011, we want to have the final countdown in phase 2 in 2016. And it is there. If you do BIM, you know what to do here. In America as well. You know what it is. That doesn't mean that everyone is doing that, but you have the possibility to do it. It's not existing here. So please, if you talk to the Architektenkammer, to politics, if someone is organized in Architektenkammers, in the chapters for architects, open your mouth. Call me, I will tell you what you have to ask. It is our duty as architects. We are political responsibility. We have responsibility for that. Okay, this is the standard. Is the American standards? It's all defined. I will just shorten that a little bit. So this is as well language, communication. As architects, we think about a floor plan like this, a floor like this. As contractor, we think like this. So once we start to model, we have to communicate what are we doing. How do we call a floor? How do we model? Architects think like this is a wall. Constructors think, oh, this is the wall. This is communications, and if we don't learn how to talk with each other, and it's not the bad constructor, it's not the bad MEP guy. It is mostly the spoiled architect. Let me name that here. I had that quite often. It's architects who are the biggest problem in the planning process, as we are so spoiled that we don't want to do with. We have to finish that. We have to stop that. As we get better results by involving the other ideas. Constructors, MEP guys, they have boat builders. They have ideas which are valuable. Okay, data exchange, I will skip that. Not important. I always get the question, what should we buy? First hand, you don't buy anything. First you get your process running. And then you look at this. Just look what your partners, it's the participants, mostly use. So if you have 3 partners who are using this company, then you better buy that. As it saves energy in the process. You can just write and so. It is horrible if you have one this, one that, one that. You have to deal with the IFC import-export, which is horrible. We have no perfectly working exchange system in the moment. And don't believe the media. Just try to work with IFC. It is possible. It needs one person in the whole office to keeping track of that. One full person data exchange. So if you have a small office, look what your partners are doing in the moment. It will change, so the open exchange form is fantastic. In the moment, they're still working on that. HRE, yeah. This is the German, it's called German Fee Schedule for Architect Engineers. It's so fantastic. Since 2013, BIM is mentioned as an besondere Leistung, a special service, meaning in the Vorplanung. So we maybe get some extra money if we deliver a BIM model. The problem is that's not BIM. Don't do that. Don't trap into this trap. As BIM has nothing to do with Vorplanung or with preliminary design. BIM is an integrator over the whole phase. And either you do it or you do not. So they always talk like, oh, I need to get extra money for it. We have to deliver a fault-free model or building. That means in future we don't talk about extra cost. In future we have to implement the cost in our process, in the normal architect's process, what we're now doing. It is possible if you talk to the client, if he gives you the money up front. And I know offices who work with the budget as is. That is the way to go. And not waiting until someone is paying you. This is happening right now. That clients want to have that. And the architect said, oh, I need more money. This is why we are hesitating. You have to learn how to integrate that in the normal process. Or you better don't do it. These kind of, where is it fitting? It's all kind of not guilty questions. It will be somewhere and it will not squeeze the cost here part. This is wrong. It will be integrated in all the phases. That is a different topic we have to speak about, but that's a German. So, contract types. We have the DBB as normal standard. We have to think about design build. It's existing, but within design build, we have these fixed lump sum, cost plus fee. These are contract types which are known in other parts of this world. In America and other countries who are dealing with BIM. In Germany, if you come up with that, they laugh at you. We will have that. Just imagine, you promise a contractor saying, okay, what will the building cost? Okay, so that's your money. If you are more clever, if you build more effective, you can keep the rest of the money as win. There are other things. We don't talk about that. People try to hide again. Not good. Talk to your clients. Ask them, are you brave enough to? I will not talk about technology today. Others did. Now we will have just what to do. This. Teach your children how to play with tech. Don't be afraid. There are so many nice tools which are not nerdy. They are not nerdy. They are really nice tools, but they are microprocessors inside. So people, if a kid learns how to work with microprocessors, it will survive. This is not a joke. Visual programming. As an architect, who is able to program? Who is able of you to program? Who is a programmer? One? Okay. Who's knowing an Arduino? Do you know what Arduino is? One. When I do that in the States, it doesn't matter which school. I have 30% to 40% hands raising. If architects don't learn how to program, and I mean they're easy program languages, then you can adjust geometry, programs, design packages, you can adjust them for your need. No one is learning that in school. I'm teaching that in Aachen right now. It's important. And don't think that this is a joke. There are young architects who are learning that right worldwide. They take our jobs. And I have that in Hamburg, I saw that in Berlin, and I saw that in Munich. They get the jobs. If you know how to work with Grasshopper and Rhino, you have no problem finding a job, a good paid job. Microprocessors, I'm teaching physical computing, really important. Building parts in future will have intelligence. They know the temperature, they know if there's a fire, blah, blah, blah. That's all controlled by this. This is a play platform, it costs $5. It's all open source. Different architects worldwide, they're working with that. Go on the internet, look for that. It's unbelievable. There is the connection between drawing and modeling packages, parametric design and this. The possibilities are open, but not taught. This guy you know, Foster, parametric design. Parametric, This kind of row I can teach you, it's fantastic. So here you can play with that, and it's nice architecture. It doesn't have to be nerdy. The advantage here is this is an algorithm which is defining the panels. This saves in one go 30% of the cost by knowing from the manufacturer side what angle, what size does the panels have. So he just take the model, as you said, he's taking this kind of model, and it happened like this, and he can cut the glass without looking at one drawing. And this is existing at Chico. I work with them, it is existing. But we architects, we have no idea. Almost finished. Projects of me, optimization and simulation. You can place facade panels not by random. Look at the sun radiation. You place the opening size by an automatic program which is rotating the panel by the yearly sun impact. And you can control by simulation the room temperature over the year. It's not a joke. It is in the packages in the moment, which I teach to students. We, with 40 years old, we have no idea. Okay, this is a project I did. I will not. I'm almost finished. Fully integrate with all participants. My first building, almost no clashes. In time, in money. So it's working. I can tell you, if you want to, maybe it's not nice, you find it horrible, it doesn't matter. It was a really complex building. Yeah. Ask someone who can help. I do this quite often in small firm offices. Table. These are my workshops. Here is constructor, architect, so it's possible. And the firms I'm somehow helping, they're pretty happy. They just cannot start as the German market isn't ready for it. Yeah, so this is fine. Thank you.